Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural Sankofa graduation ceremony at Case Western Reserve University School of Law. As the outgoing president of the Black Law Students Association, I am honored to be here to celebrate the 3L class and their accomplishments. The 2020-2021 school year marks many milestones. In fact, 2020 was so extraordinary that Dictionary.com users selected the word unprecedented as the People's Choice Award for Word of the Year. This year also marks the 50th anniversary of the very first Case Western Reserve University BALSA chapter. Notably, BALSA's leadership and activism this year were not unprecedented. The Crew BALSA chapter was founded in 1970 by Gerald Jackson and Carolyn Watts Allen. Miss Watts Allen, who was one of only 2 Black women in her law class, saw BALSA as necessarily radical to compel the law school to ensure that Black graduates could obtain meaningful employment and that the law school could enroll more minority students. Certainly this sounds familiar. Now, BALSA has used the precedent that our founders set as a source of strength to advocate for our students throughout this difficult year. This work certainly continues, and BALSA remains at the forefront. Please check out the fall 2020 In Brief publication written by Dean Adamson to learn more about the history of BALSA. But this year, BALSA navigated many new challenges, and we have emerged as a school and campus-wide leader. We were just recognized by the Dorothy Pigeon Student Leadership Awards as the Graduate Student Organization of the Year, and our advisor, Professor Hardaway, received the award for Outstanding Faculty for Student Development as well. The 3L class also selected BALSA for the Dean's Award for Community Service this year. Thank you. So as we all know, BALSA is so much more than just a student organization. It's a community, it's a network, and it's a family. Though we're sending our 3Ls on to their next adventures, they will certainly remain part of the BALSA family and legacy. Thank you. All right, please welcome our next speaker, Dean Brian Adamson.
Thank you, Ms. Hayford. Thank you and welcome. I would like to open by respectfully acknowledging that our law school and where we stand here tonight occupies sacred land, and that's the traditional homeland of the Lenape, Shawnee, Wyandot, Miami, Ottawa, Powhatan, and other Great Lakes tribes, Chippewa, the Kickapoo, the Wiyah, the Pinkashaw, and the Kakikasha. I also want to acknowledge the thousands of Native Americans who now call this land their home here in Northeast Ohio. To acknowledge land is to recognize that its history, its longer history, and our place in that history, and its place in that history. It's to recognize that these lands and these waters and their significance for the people who lived and continue to live in this region, whose practices and spiritualities were tied and are tied to the land and water, and whose lives continue to enrich and develop our relationship to the land, the waters, and other inhabitants today. And in recognizing the land upon which we reside, we express our gratitude and our appreciation for those who have lived and worked here, those who have worked here and lived here before us, those whose stewardship and resilient spirit makes our residence here possible, and extend that gratitude and appreciation to their descendants and to all indigenous people and tribal leaders. I would just like to ask to offer a few brief remarks in welcoming you all to this inaugural Sankofa celebration of our Black law students, and to welcome and congratulate on behalf of all of us the graduating class of 2021 of the Black Law Students Sankofa is an African word from the Akan tribe. Maybe many of you know this. The Akan tribe in Ghana. The literal translation of the word and the symbol is, it is not taboo to fetch what is at risk of being left behind. So one manner in which the Sankofa proverb is symbolized is this mythical bird that you see on the cover of your program. And I just have to give a shout out to the wonderful work that Ms. Hayford did on this program. It is an absolutely beautiful program, so thank you for that. And the design. And how it places the Sankofa symbol, the bird, front and center, right? This mythical bird has its feet planted firmly forward with its head turned backwards, as if surveying its past, while the egg symbolizes the future. The Sankofa symbolizes the Akan's people quest for knowledge, their quest, amongst other things, the implication of that quest being based on critical examination, intelligence, and patient investigation. The Black graduating class of 2021 has selected a theme that harkens to the Sankofa proverb, it is not taboo to fetch what is at risk of being left behind. Built by Black history. A declaration, a state of being, acknowledging one's past in this world and one's relationship to the past. And acknowledging your relationship to those who have passed on knowledge, on wisdom, on fortitude, on resilience to you, and bringing those things and the best parts of that history forward with you and in you. In addition, at this moment, you're acknowledging being built by the history here at Case Western, at the law school. The knowledge, the wisdom, the fortitude, and resilience you have shown over the past 3 years here, culminating in your remarkable achievements. And in closing, as you go forward in celebrating this incredible milestone, your impending law school graduation, keep your feet planted firmly. Look to your immediate past and to the generations of your ancestors, your peers, your mentors, your educators, who have shaped you and given you life. But also today, begin looking forward with the promise of what the future will bring to you. Thank you.
Next, we have Shalanda Plowden, class of 2021, to sing the Black National Anthem. And if everyone can rise, please.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou who hast by Thy might, Thou who hast led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places I got where we met Thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Shadowed beneath Thy hand, may we, Lord, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land, true to our God, true to our native land.
Thank you all. You can be seated. And thank you, Shalanda. That was beautiful. Now we have our co-deans, Dean Berg and Sharf, coming to speak and introduce our speaker.
Well, first, Shalanda, thank you for the gift of your beautiful voice. That was really, really incredible. I also want to thank the students that organized this, Michaela Hafer, who took the lead, and the rest of the students from Balsa, and Dean Brian Adamson for the idea initially and pushing us forward to do this event, which I think is a phenomenal addition to our regular commencement activities, and Professor Aisha Hardaway for all of her work this year with Balsa and throughout the rest of the university. So I have the pleasure to introduce the Honorable Emanuela Groves, who is a 1981 law school graduate and judge on the Ohio 8th District Court of Appeals. Previously, Judge Groves has served as a Cleveland municipal judge for 18 years and also worked as an attorney, including a staff attorney and administrator at the Cuyahoga Metropolitan Housing Authority and assistant Cleveland prosecutor. She is also an adjunct professor here at Case Western Reserve School of Law. Judge Groves has been praised for many things, including her sensitivity to the challenges faced by people without means who are navigating the judicial system. As a Cleveland municipal judge, she created programs to help offenders help themselves, including the Get on Track program, through which over 600 people secured their GEDs. During her 3 years as Cleveland Mental Health Specialized Docket Judge, she focused on therapeutic progress of those before her and incorporated education and art therapy into her programs. Judge Groves also volunteers in numerous settings, often mentoring students in personal responsibility and goal setting. Please join me in welcoming Judge Groves as our inaugural Sankofa speaker.
Good evening, everyone. I'm gonna go off script. And after you've been out of law school for 40 years, you can take that liberty. There are a couple of things that were said that I just want to respond to and I sit and I think about and I reflect. I want to congratulate you on that heartfelt rendition of the Black National Anthem. And we are standing in the blood. We are standing in the blood. People are being slaughtered today. So I ask you, why are you here? Literally, why are you here? Why have you chosen the noble profession of being an attorney? I hope it's not for personal gain, because that will go away. It does not leave a lasting impact. And as you called off two names that I know, Gerald Jackson and also Carolyn Watts Allen, great leaders in our community. Carolyn Watts Allen ran for judge. But countywide, as I stand before you, is more than a notion. And so as I stand before you as a judge, it's not because I'm the best and I'm the brightest. The timing means a lot. People have worked hard to allow for others to go through. They have paved the way. They have made sacrifices. They've had disappointments. And so again, I ask you why? Why are you here? Who are you? And I'm able to say, looking back 40 years where I sat where you sat, and they didn't have these types of programs back 40 years ago. We're just glad to graduate. In isolation, isolated all 3 years that I was here, isolated when I left, but it's a chapter in your life. And so I don't know what your experience has been, and I would hope over time that things have gotten better. But I can tell you, I would have never imagined when I graduated in 1981 that I would be back here as an adjunct professor, that I would be back here giving comments. But I think part of the reason why is, again, this was just a chapter in your life. Law school does not define who you are. It is a means to an end. But again, you work hard to get to that end. And again, why are you here? And as a lawyer, what does that mean? People are counting on you to represent their interests. When you go through the legal system, it's designed for finality. And to some degree, is it really designed to, and it's designed to give order to conflict, because we go to court and we have laws to try to minimize conflict. But even as we go through and we see as the law has evolved, there were laws that would not have allowed us to congregate here today. There were laws that would not have allowed us to become lawyers. But the law evolves. And so how did it evolve? It evolved with those lawyers who were given that had the passion and the understanding that being a lawyer is about protecting rights and causing accountability. My son just got his vaccine, and he is working at a school. And I have 2 children, and they have been taught, where you are, you make a difference. And I challenge each of you, where you are and where you're going, make a difference. And sometimes that means that there's discomfort, because you know what? When you get comfortable, things don't change. And so as we look and we celebrate 50 years, yesterday I was sworn in as a co-chair of the Ohio Black Judges Association, Incorporated. And today, when you made the announcement that 50 years ago, BALSA was created. And so when you look at between those 50 years in and these 50 years now, sometimes we've gotten a little comfortable. And I think with that comfort, we have not ensured that the continued progress and accountability needs to be made. So I'm going to share with you the analogy when my son called, because, you know, we all on the battlefield. And so he was sharing with me the vaccine. And, you know, again, we have taught our adult children now, you make a difference where you are, because otherwise, why are you there? You make your presence count. You make your voice be heard. And so as he talked about some of the challenges within his job for speaking up, and I said, well, you know what, Gregory? The vaccine is very similar to what is going on. The vaccine has caused a disruption in your body because your body has been comfortable. And so it's building up your immune system. And so when it was introduced to your body was rejecting that. And it caused some discomfort. But that discomfort is going to go away because your immune system will become comfortable to this unknown substance that has been put in your body to protect you. And I think that is what's happening in this age. And so it's the pandemic has had its negatives, but it's had some positives too, in terms of reflecting, in terms of looking at things looking at the challenges in our law enforcement, looking at the challenges as we go forward to try to make sure that there is equality everywhere. So as lawyers, we are instruments in which people must go through for their rights to be protected. And one of the important things is that at this point, you've learned a lot, but let me tell you, you don't know much, okay? You've learned a lot, but you don't know much. So don't get comfortable, all right? Comfortable lawyers are ineffective lawyers. And you got to know when you're at that place. If you think you can just get up and do your job and no preparation, it's time to move. Because you won't be making a difference. If you get too comfortable, and you have to know that. Now, it may be, hey, you're comfortable and that's all you want to do. That's fine. But trust me, if you do that, you're selling yourself short. You're selling your community short. And everything is for a season. And so I challenge you again, why are you here? And I could tell you 40 years ago, I wanted to be a lawyer, but I didn't know what that really meant. You know, it sounds good. I can give you the best argument ever. But I've seen lawyers who have passion, but they don't have the preparation, and they're just making noise. And what distinguishes a lawyer from a lay person, we all have passion, but you have to bring logic with that passion. You have to be prepared because, again, there's only one chance. As I sit on the Court of Appeals, I see in the short time that I have been there, which has only been, I got sworn in February, started February 8th, and I've seen a number of instances where lawyers have not represented their clients well. And then the way that the law is set up to be ineffective is a very, very high standard in order to overturn a wrong that was done because your lawyer was not prepared. So again, I ask you, why? Why are you here? What is your goal? What is your purpose? Frederick Douglass, I want to share a quote with you. Where justice is denied, where poverty is enforced, where ignorance prevails, and where anyone class is made to feel that society is an organized conspiracy to oppress, rob, and degrade them, neither persons nor property will be safe. We are here to help make the system accountable. And we have to have the fortitude and the courage to do that. I know the progress that I've made over the years, it was because of the hard work and the preparation. And the older you get, and the more confident you get, you are not fearful. And as advocates, you are advocates. You have to first advocate for yourself, because I find some lawyers are unwilling to do that. And my thought, as I've talked to young lawyers, if you don't advocate for yourself, how can you advocate for someone else? Know your value, work hard, understand your responsibility, that people are counting on you. There are no do-overs. And if you don't know, again, there's a lot you don't know, you need to ask. And there are many of us that are out here, our doors are open. Now don't come and ask me a question that you can look up yourself, okay? Do your research, and we can talk about what it means, but you need to know what it says, okay? But it's so important. And I want you to take a deep breath. No, exhale, because I know you've been, at least for me, 40 years ago, I was holding my breath for 3 long years. So this is the time to exhale, take a pause, acknowledge your accomplishment, because law school is a challenge. I know it was a challenge for me. It was a challenge. But in that challenge, I learned more about myself. And in that challenge, I knew that I could push and get through. And so applaud yourself for getting through this chapter. And then you recharge. You pass that bar. And then again, each step that you go, always ask, why are you there? Are you making a difference? And I have a friend, we sat in a meeting and she didn't say a word. And when she left, I was like, well, why were you there? But you got to be prepared to know what to say. And you have to be able to say what people are thinking, but they're not willing to say, because sometimes it's hard to have those difficult conversations. As I sit out here and I see Professor Hardaway and know that she is on the cutting edge of, has the fortitude and she has the courage to bring power and truth. That's the most gratifying thing that a lawyer can do. So again, I want to applaud you. I want to challenge you. I want to thank you that you found me worthy. But again, I want you to know that there were so many that came before me. They had the skill set, they had the knowledge, they had the experience. But it was not at that time that people were willing to open the door and accept them. With the Ohio Black Judges Association, there are 56 Black judges out of 717 in the state. There are 88 counties in Ohio, and only 8 counties have African American judges. And the majority of those are in Cuyahoga County, Columbus, and Cincinnati. And even here in Cuyahoga County, there are certain benches where there are no Black judges. So I challenge you to make the difference, to be the presence. But when you get there, also be the voice. Thank you so much, and congratulations. What I did want to do, and I don't know what the time is, if there are a few questions, I'm more than willing to take any questions that anyone may have at this time. All right then. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I wish you well. My door is open. I'm at the Ohio 8th District Court of Appeals, and please feel free to get in touch. I wish you well. And as I look back, one other good thing, I got my JED at Case, and I also got my MRS. I've been married 40 years. I met my husband here at the law school, and life has been good. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
All right, thank you again, Judge Groves. And at this time, we're going to move on to the presentation of the graduates. So if I could have the members of the exec board come up. And I know we are trying to beat the rain, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call all of the names of the graduates, and if you could just form kind of a line up here, and we'll have a photo right here, and you'll get your stole and some other swag from Balsa. So, first, we have Daniel Dallas, Anthony Duquette, Lauren Durham, Jasmine Edwards, Russell Hauser, Joseph Hazel, Justin Hill, Marcus McCrary, Celia Moore, Isaiah Pinkney III, Shalanda Plowden, Andy Nunez Sanchez, Tenmei Shaw, Quentin Sims, Fatima Smith, Louis Smoot III, Imani Sweeney, Yvette Thompson, and Kingsley Umagia. All right, I present to you the class of 2021. Okay, so we'll have you like go. All right, let's have another round of applause for the class of 2021. So we will have a class picture at the end of the event, but we're going to keep moving through the program. So next we have the Student of the Year reflection given by Russell Hauser.
Thank you. It's just great to be here. This has kind of been above and beyond what I was expecting, but that's par for the course for BOLSA this year. The whole e-board, they've really just really impressed me all year with the events they've been able to put on and making inroads with the faculty staff meetings. That's just been really impressive to see. Just want to say thank you to everyone who's here, and thank you to the Sankofa committee and BOLSA, Dean Adamson, Professor Hardaway, everyone who's been supportive of BOLSA all year. It's just been, I know it's been an up and down year for a lot of us, and an up and down 3 years, and some of us have had more downs than ups, but it's good to take moments like this where we can kind of just reflect and celebrate, and to just kind of really realize how far we've come. And of course, I want to say congrats again to my fellow 3Ls for graduating, and congrats to the 2Ls and 1Ls, or soon to be 2Ls and 3Ls. You guys have also made it through what'll hopefully probably be the hardest year of school, and hopefully next year things get a little bit back to normal. So I would feel a little out of place trying to give career advice or wisdom, seeing as I'm taking this next step with all my fellow 3Ls. We're all going to be attorneys at the same time. But I think, as most of you know, I'm one of the older students, and I've had a unique work experience before law school. I had a couple odd jobs, and I think I've learned a few lessons from those jobs that I kind of wanted to share with my fellow graduates, and I think can kind of be helpful. Before I left for law school, one of my coworkers, he mentioned to me that having a law degree and being a lawyer, it changes things. It changes how people talk to you. It changes how people, it'll change the entire tone of conversations that we're going to have for the rest of our lives, whether we're meeting an acquaintance, a friend of a friend. Once people find out that we're lawyers and we have law degrees, it's going to kind of shift the whole dynamic. People defer to lawyers. People take our opinions and our views into account. And that's a lot of power, and it's a lot of responsibility. And I think by now, most of us have probably had at least a few conversations that start with someone saying, hey, can I ask you a legal question? And we kind of feel that that hesitancy, and especially after taking PR, you're not sure if they might be better off not saying anything. But I would kind of just encourage us to embrace those moments, embrace little moments like that, because you never know when someone kind of just needs a push in the right direction. I mentioned having some odd jobs before law school, and the people that I remember from all my positions are the people who never hesitated to help me when I needed it. One of my first jobs out of undergrad, I worked at a bowling alley. And I remember being told to change a keg during like my first week. Had no idea what that meant. I didn't even know where the keg was. But I found my way to it, and I was unplugging things and plugging things in. And thankfully, one of my coworkers saw that I was struggling and came up and helped me. He had more than enough on his plate, but he took the time out to kind of show me the ropes, showed me how to change a keg, how to clock in and clock out so I don't shortchange myself. And it seemed like a small moment in the time, but that made all the difference because he could tell that I could contribute. I just didn't really know how to get started. And those are kind of the people that I remember at every stop of the way, especially law school. I was pretty confident coming into law school. I worked at a couple of different law firms. I thought I knew everything I needed to know. And then I got into contracts class. And I remember Professor Kostritsky showing us how to calculate damages, and she had the letter K on the board. And I remember not understanding that K meant contracts. So I think we all had a lot to learn at that moment, but I remember just feeling overwhelmed and kind of feeling frustrated. But the 2Os and 3Os who were in BOLSA at the time, they were always there to pick us up, kind of always there to give us the perspective that we needed to always move forward, whether it was finals, whether it was outlining. Kind of always just remember the people at every stop of the way who never hesitated to reach out and show you the ropes. So I would just kind of encourage everyone to make sure that we keep that in mind because, like I said, it may seem small in the moment, but you never know when the word of encouragement or holding a door open for someone else is coming behind you or giving advice to someone when you can see that they're struggling. You never know when that can kind of make all the difference in the world for them. So that's kind of just the main point that I wanted to say, but just want to thank everybody again and congratulations. And this has been really great. And I'm just glad everybody could be here tonight.
Okay. Thank you, Russell. Now we're going to do the awards. And so we first want to present Russell Hauser with the Student of the Year Award. If you'll come up here. Yeah. The next one we have goes to Judge Groves for the Alumna of the Year. I'm going to take it out of the...
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have Professor of the Year, Ms. Professor Hardaway. And then if you just want to stay up here, we have Coach of the Year goes to Professor Ikeke, who couldn't be here today, but we just have a plaque for him. So, and now Professor Hardaway with her Professor of the Year reflection.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, and when you wear heels, the mic, this is perfect. I'm so glad I wore these heels. Good evening, good evening. It's so good to be in person with you all. To Dean Deans Berg and Scharf and Associate Dean Michael McCarthy, as well as to Michaela and the BALSA Exec Board. Y'all have showed out. Thank you so much for your support and commitment to making this year's inaugural Sankofa graduation possible. To the Honorable Judge Emanuela Groves. Listen, y'all may not know Judge Groves like I do, and so that may have been, consider yourself blessed, right? Consider yourself blessed. To have her care enough to give you those tidbits. I ran for school board a little bit ago. Now I'm off script. And I'll never forget the night of a particular, we were at an event, and she said, "Are you gonna win?" And I was like, "Well, I'm doing all of the things, we'll see how it," and she said, No. Are you going to win? I don't care what you have to do. If you have to stand outside of Heinen's every day between now and election, you better win. And I was like, oh God, now I got to win this seat I don't even want because Judge Groves told me I got to win, But congratulations to you on your honor tonight. Her commitment to truth-telling in the face of injustice in our criminal legal system really has inspired me, has been my North Star and such a source of support over the years. So I'm grateful to be in the space with you tonight. Thank you. To Associate Dean Adamson, boy, oh boy, am I glad you are here. Thank you for bringing such an exciting and fitting tradition to our alma mater. You've made so many important contributions to our law school community in just 1 year of being here. It's phenomenal. As an alum of the law school, I know that we have a shared understanding and dedication to actually practicing what the Sankofa bird symbol represents. And I'm honored to work with you as we continue on our individual and collective journeys of reaching back and bringing our experiences to the present with the sincere purpose to make tangible progress. I gotta take these off because I'm of a certain age. To our distinguished and phenomenal graduates, congratulations on joining the ranks of the 2021 law school graduates all over the country. This is a huge deal, and I'm so grateful to be in this space with you tonight. You've made it through what I know from experience is typically the toughest 3 years of any aspiring lawyer's life. Just is. And while I don't know, what I don't know is how difficult it must have been to reach this point in the middle of a global, life-altering pandemic. This past year has not been easy for anyone. It has undoubtedly been more difficult for some than for others. And while I don't know where each of you fit on that continuum, call me crazy, but I imagine that completing 3 semesters of law school courses during such a time as this was not a walk in a park, right? And I'm also fairly certain that reaching goals in the face of daunting odds and adversity is nothing new to you. Today's ceremony is, of course, an opportunity for us to acknowledge your hard work and congratulate you on your accomplishments, but it is so much more than that. You see, I know that we all come from different cities and backgrounds. You have pursued a variety of majors in undergrad. You each came to law school with a different idea or hope of what you might do with your law degree. Some of you can only imagine doing transactional work, while others know that litigation is the only way to practice law for you. You have different likes and dislikes in reading material, music, clothes, food, and so on. But as much as we differ individually, there is a collective experience that unifies us. And that's why tonight is so important. It is that experience that tells me that buckling in the face of present-day adversity wasn't an option for this class. Yes, coronavirus has been difficult to maneuver, and you had to persist and resist in order to finish law school, but you had to persist and resist to get here in the first place. And so it likely came as no surprise to you that you were going to have to persist and resist to finish law school. Lucky for us, we come from people who know oh too well how to persist and resist. When and where did you see your parents, your grandparents, your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, your siblings, or spirit demonstrate for you how to persist and resist? I'm not asking that rhetorically or flippantly. I really want you to think about the ways in which you've seen persistence and resistance throughout your life. For me, I saw it in my granny every time we went to town in rural Georgia, and she boldly proclaimed that she was Mrs. Bell to any white person foolish enough to halfway form their lips to call her by her first name. I saw it in my mother as she plopped 3-year-old me in the middle of the floor with a bag of grapes in our small apartment near campus where she was studying college, so that she could be prepared for class the next day. I saw it in my papa, who told stories of defending this country at sea after the attack on Pearl Harbor, and the way he worked as one of very few Black employees at TRW for decades after coming home for the war. And I also learned about persistence and resistance from my father, who handed down to me a strong commitment to Black liberation, an undying love and admiration for Black people, and who knew that we should wear what we've been through as a badge of honor and not one of shame. He also made it a point to tell me that my name means life, and that Aisha was the Prophet Muhammad's youngest and prettiest wife, in case you all didn't know. And I see persistence and resistance in my children. One who knew at birth that she was going to be better than me from jump, no question asked. And the other who is quietly and confidently secure in the fact that he knows everything will work out in his favor. It's been those lessons of persistence and resistance that have allowed me to turn my natural inclination to be an advocate into a full-fledged career. Imagine that. Built on speaking truth to power. So if I could leave you with 3 things to take with you along your journey, I'd want you to do just keep these 3 things in mind. Do what you can to resist plans to divide you. Give each other the best of yourselves so that you can work together collaboratively in a way that plays up your individual strengths while mitigating for anyone else's weakness. Some of my best and most fulfilling work in community has been on strong teams where we assumed the best about each other, sought to understand each other, and weren't so worried about always being right. And a very wise person once told me, Judge Groves, please forgive me, this is a little bit of a conflict. Y'all work out the difference amongst yourselves. Somebody told me once that if you decide you don't like the way things are playing out in your life on your personal sketch pad, you get to tear up that piece of paper and start all over again. At the time, that sounded so radical to me and a little bit harsh, right? Like, how could I just start all over, right? But what I learned is that it allowed me to discard what wasn't working for me, what was not serving me on my current path, and to start a new path equipped with only the things that were expediently beneficial to making sure that I could create exactly what I wanted to have in my life. And the last thing that I want you all to remember and to never, ever forget is to please understand that you come from and are a part of one of the greatest freedom struggles the world has ever known. Use that energy to drive you toward your dreams and as a source of comforting shelter when the ways of this world rear its ugly head, because we know that it will. Kendrick was right when he said it's in your DNA. And if Kendrick is not quite your speed, Esperanza was also right when she said you are Black gold. Congratulations, and I can't wait to see what you all do in your careers. Thank you.
Let me lower this because I'm short. Okay, so Hi again, everyone. My name is Sierra Lipscomb. I have had the pleasure to serve as secretary for BALSA this year. And I also have the privilege today to announce the 2021-2022 BALSA Executive Board. For the members that are here today, I will ask that you please stand, and we'll also recognize those that can be with us today as well. So for president, we have Iltaf Bala, who is not here. Vice President, we have Barry Love. Treasurer, we have Michelle Robinson. And last but not least, Secretary, we have Caitlin Grant. So please give a round of applause to the new Executive Board. I think I can speak on behalf of the current Executive Board, say that we are excited and we're happy to pass the torch to you all, and we look forward to all the great work that you'll be doing in BALSA next year.
All right, so we're coming to a close now, and I just wanted to say a few brief things. One, I'm gonna miss you guys. It's funny thinking about the first time we came to meet anybody from law school, which was at Justin's thing that he held for BALSA. And that was actually really nice because on the first day of school, then I had people that I knew and that I could sit with. And that's something that we've tried to create this year at BALSA also. And even though it was virtual, creating a space for the 1Ls and the new 2Ls to feel comfortable and to know that they have people here that think like them, look like them, and it's a safe space. So I just want to say thank you, good luck, and congratulations. I'm so proud of all of you, and don't be a stranger. We're still here. We still need you. So yeah, thank you all for coming. We have food over there. We have vegetarian and blackened chicken rice bowls. They are dairy-free, so yeah, they should be good, and gluten-free. So yeah, thank you all.